Keto and crime, keto and crime. We uncover the grime on keto and crime. Keto and crime, keto and crime. Now is the time for keto and crime.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Keto and Crime. So sorry I was absent a couple of days. I was performing in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Went very well. I was at the Comedy Zone at the Block Club there in Fort Walton Beach. It was quite nice. Had a great time. So yeah, just a really busy weekend, and I kind of got behind on my updates. As to the Maxwell case, I'm going to kind of back off on my updates on that one. There's not a whole lot of information coming out because there's such a tight lid on it. But also, my good friend Roberta Glass over at Roberta Glass True Crime Report is actually covering it from the gallery. So any big updates, I'll of course be here. But if you want the general day to day, go check her out, and I'll link her up above. Not a whole lot in the Duggar case, just more uh, basically evidence presenting the defense offering what I consider kind of a lackluster defense, and that he was set up, all this good stuff. So not a whole lot there. Hopefully more will be coming out on that, and I will keep you updated. But the case that had the most updates this week is by far the Jussie Smollett case. Lots of stuff happening. Basically, a video, which has not been released yet to the public, to my knowledge, showing Jessie and the two brothers in an actual dry run of the crime was shown to the jury mid last week. And as a result of that, and the judge allowing that in for evidence, one of Smollett's defense attorneys actually filed for a mistrial, and on those basis, and the judge basically told her in no uncertain terms that would not be happening. And then she accused the judge of lunging at her, which everybody in the courtroom said that never happened. So sounds like some of his attorneys are maybe as unhinged as he is. Just saying. Anyway, after the testimony of the two brothers, which contend they were hired by Smolette for $3,500 to stage this fake hate crime, Jussie Smollett was finally called to the stand. I thought that was interesting because I don't think he's the kind of witness you really want to have on the stand. But it got very contentious during his cross-exam. But during his regular exam, he contended that the brothers were trying to extort him for money and wanted to get other things from him. I'll leave that to the imagination, as well as a recurring role on Empire, that sort of thing. And that they were staging this in coordination with the Chicago PD to basically set him up. And then on cross-exam, it got very contentious with the prosecutors reading some of the texts between the two brothers, as well as referring to the video of the actual dry run of the crime, with them screaming MAGA country and everything else. That it got really contentious because evidently one of the prosecutors read the N-word out loud while reading some of the text messages, and Jessie kind of dressed him down for that, but he was just reading the words of Jessie and whoever he was engaged in the text conversation with, i.e. the two brothers. So yeah, that got contentious. And then today, another big bombshell stating that perhaps Don Lemon from CNN might have been passing some information to Jessie about why they were prosecuting him, because the charges originally were dropped, and then public pressure kind of had him to be recharged with multiple attempts at false reporting, other stuff of what he's facing right now. So basically, that's where we stand. I'm not really going to hammer in after the whole Chris Cuomo thing. This would be a very bad thing for CNN. but I am not going to hammer in on that so much because I think it was more two friends just discussing something rather than him actually giving information. I'm just going to say that. But basically, the cross-examination of Jussie Smollett ended. There was some redirects. Of course, the two Oxendaro brothers were cross-examined. In my opinion, their case held up pretty well, and testimony has officially ended. I think we are going into the closing arguments phase, and the jury should have it very, very soon. So we shall see how this turns out. And that's my major update on the Jussie Smollett case. The other big thing that's going on is the Michigan school shooting that took place on November 30th. Anytime this happens, even though I'm a Second Amendment advocate, anytime this happens, first of all, my absolute heart goes out to the victims and the families of the victims. But anytime this happens, I brace for the impending onslaught of who caused this and why caused this. And we're getting away from the fact that it's usually a lone individual using a weapon for their own devices. Usually a mentally ill one person. And I think that's what we have to realize. I'm not saying that some people there are absolutely people out there that are irresponsible gun owners. Absolutely. But in this case, I think you can blame, this is one of the few cases where I think you can blame easily more than just the shooter, because there was lots of evidence that both his parents and the school knew he was suffering from mental illness. And basically, 15-year-old Ethan Crumbley took the gun that his parents had bought for him, and a lot of people are saying the reasons the parents are now being charged with involuntary manslaughter, 4 counts for the 4 people that died, is because they bought him the gun. No, lots of parents buy guns for their children, and if you look at the percentage of gun owners versus these versus any kind of shooting, it's relatively low. So the vast majority of gun owners are very responsible, in my opinion. So they're not being charged because they bought him the weapon. They're being charged because they absolutely knew he was suffering from mental anguish of some sort. There were 2 distinct incidents that had happened at the school prior. One was him researching ammunition, which that itself is not a red flag. He just got a new gun, so he's researching ammunition. That isn't so much of a thing to me as the second incident, where a teacher found a picture that basically Ethan drawing out his crime. Basically him with his new weapon, saying that the thoughts won't stop, and basically showing him engaged in the crime of killing people. Now, the teacher took that, saw that, reported it. The school counselor came down to Ethan's room and tried to take the picture. By that time, he had already altered it, and then they took him down to the office, called his parents, and from what I understand, his parents refused to take him out of school. Now, that is a absolute faux pas on part of the parents. If the school is telling you that your son is suffering some kind of mental health incident, some kind of mental health manifestation, you need to take them seriously and take your child out of school. And also, you have to blame the school. I think the school should be charged at least with negligence in this, because what happened to them just being able to expel children? I mean, if you think this child is a danger to others in your school, you have a duty as part of public service to get that threat out of your school. He should have been expelled on the spot, regardless of whether his parents wanted to take him or not. You can tell them, hey, you think anytime somebody is suspended or expelled from school, their parents want to take them home? Probably not. That's where you have to step in and do it. So I blame both the parents and the school. I totally agree that the parents in this case had warning, at least that day, that something mental was going on with their son, and probably before this too, once we dig into things. So yes, they are absolutely at fault, and I agree with them being charged. The school also needs to be charged with at least negligence. The 2 parents, Jennifer and James Crumbley, are being charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, whereas their son is charging 24 counts, both murder and others relating to the school shooting. Anyway, very sad. My thoughts go out to the families and the students of Oxford County, Michigan. It's a terrible thing. Uh, we need personal responsibility, and we need better mental health treatment. That's obvious, and the school should be held responsible too. That's just my opinion. As far as the Second Amendment, that is everyone's right to own a weapon if they have not committed a felony and they are not otherwise a danger to society. I absolutely believe that is your right as an American to own a weapon. So you can just take that out of the equation if you're talking to me. But where I will engage in a conversation is mental health. We have drastically we have failed our citizenry on the issue of mental health. And I think we need the public mental health hospitals, used to be called asylums. I don't like that word either. I think we need to revisit that. And I think we need affordable and free mental health treatment and analysis for the people of this country. I really do. It might prevent something like this from happening. Anyway, that's today's update and kind of a soapbox rant. I appreciate you tuning in. I'll be back soon with another video. And until next time, keep on crime.